Hey everybody, Tommy here, World at War Comics, and I want to introduce you to my next guest, Mr. Todd Black. He is the creator and writer of Tokyo Blade Detectives. He actually has issue 9 on the Kickstarter, so this is a long run that he's been working on for a while. It's absolutely fabulous. The art is great. I can't wait for you to check it out. Go to Kickstarter right now and back him. There's 15 days left, and as always, anybody running a Kickstarter, we could always use your help. It almost always costs more than what the creator is asking for when it comes to putting out their comic. And so go back over to Kickstarter and back him today. I think you're going to really love this. All right, without further ado, here is Todd and I. Thanks, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to World at War Comics. My next special guest is Todd Black. He is the writer, the creator of Tokyo Blade Detectives. And right now, it is live on Kickstarter. But before we get into that, Todd, man, I would love to know how you're doing.
I'm doing all right. It is cold. All right. It is. We got hit with like
What
some
part
winter
of where are
stuff.
you at in the world here?
I'm from Illinois.
Okay, yeah. Illinois gets cold.
Yeah, and it's like we just got hit with like a winter blast yesterday, so it was icy on the roads. We got like an inch or two of snow. I'm just like, go away. I got a con in 2 days and I need to drive. So
SoCal guy, right? So we'll get into like the 50s once in a while, and we all have beanies on, parkas, and and then you go to like Illinois, and in 50-degree weather, people are in tank tops and shorts jogging. So
yeah,
it's depends on where you're at, right? It's all relative, I
yeah.
guess.
It's 20 degrees outside right now, and my gym is like 2,000 feet away. So I just walk in my gym gear to there, and I could just tell like people will drive by me just randomly, and they'll see me in the shorts and t-shirt, and they're just like, Why aren't you wrapped up?" I'm like, I
Yeah.
live. I'll be warm in the gym.
You'll be definitely warm in the gym. Yeah, yeah. That's hilarious though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just
Uh,
moved to Texas about 3 months ago to get closer to my grandchildren. I have two grandchildren, and me and my wife want to be closer to them. And it's
yeah.
been in the 50s, and you should see the parkas going on down here. You think
Yeah.
it's crazy in SoCal. Texas doesn't get cold weather very often.
No. I saw a post yesterday. I was on Blue Sky,
Uh,
and someone posted because they saw like the winter weather was coming hitting the Midwest, and they go, "Hey, come to Texas. It doesn't snow here." I'm like, "You sure about that?"
yeah.
Because
We did get one day of snow.
well, not just that. What? Hold on. Like, were you there in 2021?
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't, but the ice.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was days. Like there were people like without power and stuff for days. And it's just like, it doesn't happen often, but Texas can get hit, and
It
I
can.
will always remind people of that. So
Well, you know what we get is hailstorms a lot. So it'll be cold and we'll get hail the size of golf balls and baseballs. So when we first moved here and we got insurance, we had to make sure that we had a garage because your rate would go down. If you don't have a garage, your rate goes up because probably 3 or 4 times a year we get huge hailstorms and they're big and they will dent up your vehicle. My son, who is in he's a lineman, so he does electrical work on the telephone poles.
oh,
He
okay.
has a big giant Dodge Ram, and his it looks like it was meant to be dented. Like there's so many little holes, like not holes, but like little spots that have been hit, and
Indents.
just very normal. And he
Uh,
won't get it fixed because he goes, "I'll get it fixed, and we'll get a hailstorm in the middle of summer." So it's just
yeah.
weird weather down here for sure. But we did
Ugh.
get snow, and they shut everything down. The school shut down, all the government
Yeah.
agencies. It wasn't even a quarter of an inch. It was like
Oh
it
God.
covered, but it was gone in like 2 hours. But the whole city shut down. So can you imagine in Illinois they doing that? It would never
We've
happen.
we've we've had. I'll be honest. We've had some times where it's like the projection.
Yeah,
Like it's gonna be like super ice, super snow, and
yeah,
they'll sometimes they did cancel it out of fear, and then we get maybe like inch or two,
yeah,
and like the kid we as kids we didn't care. We're just like,
yeah,
heck yeah, snow day.
yeah.
Like,
Score.
yeah, your paranoia gives us a day off, so thanks for that. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
then we grow up and we're like, oh, snow sucks.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, then it becomes a nuisance because you got to get things actually done. That's not
Yeah.
fun sometimes, right?
Yeah, and like if like yesterday, I was driving on the roads and I had like just iced over, so I'm like, sliding on the road. I'm just like, I don't want to die on the way to comics. Like, come on,
Don't do that. Yeah, don't do
don't
that.
do that. I will
Don't
be
do that.
bad.
Well, let's jump into your history of storytelling because
Okay.
just getting to meet you for the first time and kind of looking at a little bit of your background that I could tell from social media and the Kickstarter, you have done quite a bit from
Yep.
comic books to novels. You've written quite a bit. Can we go like in the way back machine? I would love to know where the passion for storytelling started in your life. And was there one or two people in your life at that time that really encouraged you to be a great storyteller?
If we're going back to like, I think, and this is gonna be sound weird, like this is very atypical, but I learned to love storytelling just because I watched a lot of television.
Yeah, me too.
I I'm a kid of the 90s, so I grew up on like peak animated television and Power Rangers. So like I was watching some like the greatest shows for my generation, which obviously still hold up to this day. Yeah, you've heard me, kids. Your shows suck. No, that's not true. But some of them do. But like I grew up on Batman animated series, Superman animated series, Justice League, Teen Titans, X-Men animated series, Spider-Man, X-Men Evolution, very underrated. X-Men TAS, which just got the 97 reboot on Disney Plus, which
Yeah,
was great. Very
it's
great.
amazing. It
It was
really is.
amazing.
Yeah.
Hey, Cyclops actually came off great in it. Wasn't a concept. That's a whole other tangent. But like I grew up on all these stories, and so what I started to do, which I think speaks to my imagination, which I outside of my hair is my greatest asset. Uh,
Definitely is, man.
thank you.
I'm hearing Guns N' Roses in the back of my head every time I look at
I've
you.
I've
You need a
gotten
big
Guns
top hat.
I've gotten Guns N' Roses, I've gotten Weird Al Yankovic, which I love that one.
Yeah.
Brian May from Queen.
Oh yeah, I can see
I,
that. Yeah.
I've also gotten like 16th century,
Yes, very much so.
like
If you had like a giant collar coming off,
yes,
man, it would be
yes,
amazing. Like
yeah.
with
So
the frill around it, that'd be
yeah,
amazing.
so I've gotten it all. But what I would do is I would just put myself in the stories, and I would think like, what would my story be? Like, how would I be in this universe or this universe? And then by the time I got to high school, I really started to think about my own stories, and I came up with what would soon be my first comic book series in Guardians. And I literally just like went to the library one day and I just like started writing out as much as I could. And when I got into college, I went into video game writing, which just, kind of accelerated things a little bit because, I wanted to write for video games. I still do, but they're like, do this kind of a writing thing, do this kind of writing thing, do this kind of a writing thing. So that kept going. And I actually started to try and write my first novel in college. I still have it. I haven't finished it, but I still have it. And then because I went to Chicago for college. I went to my first ever Comic Con in C2E2, and at that point in time, I was considering writing comics, just because I had ideas like Guardians, and I wanted to see what I could do. And I went to a panel called "Making Comics the Marvel Way,"
Mhm.
and on the panel was legendary comic writer Matt Fraction. And I asked him, I said, I'm a guy, I have ideas. I want to make comics. What do I do? He goes, okay, look, if you want to make comics, go find an artist and make comics. Okay. What could possibly go wrong? A lot of things, because it took me 2 years after that point, because apparently you need money to make comics, and I was a college kid.
Crazy. It's
I
crazy.
I know. So it took me 2 years at a really bad job that kept giving me overtime because I was forced to. That's a long story. But I'm just like, I needed something
Yeah.
to keep me alive, for lack of a better term. And so I started making comics. Then I almost went broke because this was early days of comicsology.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, I'll put it out there, then I'll make money. That's not how it works. Um, so I made 3 issues of my Guardian series. Almost went broke. Had to restockpile. Had to renegotiate with my artist so we could actually keep cranking things up, but at a much lower rate. And I know he's not going to watch this, but to my artist Alex, I am so sorry that I like the amount of work he was doing for the money I was paying him during the dark period was like criminal. He's getting much more now, I promise. But like he went from making this in
Yeah.
the first 2 issues, because I didn't know better, to like this in the third, like 3 through 10, I think. And we
Mhm.
were cranking out almost a comic a month. I can't believe we
Wow.
did it. I know, I still know how he pulled it off. And so we did 20 issues of Guardians. and my superhero story. And then there was a, you heard of Oni Press?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Oni Press was running a contest at the time, and they were like, we're looking for new writers and such. Give us your ideas. And I was like, perfect. And then I read the fine print, and it went no superheroes, and it has to be a 5 issue miniseries or graphic novel. I'm like, crap. So at that time, I had another idea for like large scale story, like wheels within wheels, multiple universe story kind of thing. And I'm like, how do I tell that in 5 issues? So I just revised it, came up with a new idea called Home. And then I was inspired by a commercial for a Pixar movie that was coming out. And then I recalled a Scooby-Doo thing, a Scooby-Doo joke about digging your way to China. And so I came up with an idea called 10,000 Miles, submitted submitted both of them to Oni Press, got rejected both times. So I'm like, okay. And that is where my true journey on Kickstarter began. Because I was like, I had tried Kickstarter before. I didn't make anything because I couldn't get funding. This was like I was an idiot in my very first one. Would you like to know what the title of my very first Kickstarter
Oh,
was?
I would love it. Yes, please.
I will swear on any Bible you put in front of me. My first Kickstarter title was The Next Stanley.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is, I love the confidence, Todd. That is
No, that's not
amazing.
confidence. That is college era arrogance. And I've been accused of being arrogant in the past, including the very recent past. But uh and I have fought it, but like if you wanted me to say like what's the most arrogant thing you've ever done, Todd, that is it. I I had a $500 goal. I had no comic ideas. I was just like, give me money so I can make comics and be the next Stan Lee. Like that was college level arrogance. And we all have to do it at one point in time. I'm glad it was my
Yep,
first Kickstarter.
sure.
But the second one, I did like, an actual project idea. It didn't get
Yeah.
funded. And then I really want the story. So I went on Kickstarter and I got funded for the first issue of Home. And now 15 issues later and 50 plus books later, I am on it with Tokyo Blade Detectives. So it's been a long road.
A long road and a lot accomplished. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a lot for any kind of an indie writer or, someone who's writing at the big two don't write that much. There's a lot of newer writers, so that's pretty impressive to be honest.
I had a unique interaction with Kyle Higgins,
Yeah.
legendary DC Comics and indie writer.
Yep.
And he was one of my inspirations for certain things. His New 52 Nightwing run was incredible. Should have gone longer. It was DC's fault. But
Yep.
I had talked to him at like several cons, and he asked me one day, hey, when I saw him, I was like, hey, how many comics have you made? I'm like 12. And he like just goes, and then at another Marvel panel, I this is like a couple of years after the first one, obviously. I was like, hey, I would like to work for Marvel, and I know you like, do the work and all that. So I just held up the stack of Guardians comics and everything. I'm like, I've got 20 issues and I'm making more. And like the eyes on all of them like bulged. They're like, this is an indie guy who's already made 20 comics. So didn't get hired by Marvel, sadly, but still time.
That's okay. I mean, yeah, there's obviously a lot of time, but you also have created a fan base of some of your own titles, which is pretty awesome as well.
Yeah, I am indebted to every single person who has ever pledged to Kickstarter, and some have fallen off, some have come in late.
That's normal.
That's absolutely normal. Like
That's normal.
one of my good friends, like he was with me with Tokyo at the beginning, and then he fell off because he said I just the story didn't grip me, and I'm like that's fine. And then
Yeah, yeah,
he pledged to a different one I did. It might have been because he was one of the characters, so that might have been a little bit of bias.
that'll
So
do it. That'll
yeah,
do it.
oh yeah. I love putting my friends in my comics. I don't mind one bit. So
Yeah, yeah. No, why would you? I mean, that's awesome.
yeah,
And what a cool thing to do.
yeah.
Yeah. So let's go to your Kickstarter. I'm gonna pull it up right here. So let's take a look at it.
By all means.
Bear with me. Always looks so old when I try to do all this. All right, here we go. Can you see it okay?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So I'm gonna slide your face back over here because I got my big screen in front of me. That way I'm looking at you. But yeah, here we go. So once you walk us through where we're at, and maybe you could give us a little bit of an elevator pitch as to what we could expect from Tokyo Blade Detectives.
All right, Tokyo Blade Detectives is my anime comic. It's about a version of Tokyo about 200 years in the future, and the country's been burned to the ground by war, rebuilt with technology, and to try and stop the madness, they have made a law that absolutely no one can break. No guns allowed.
Mm.
But that makes a power vacuum, so they make laser swords, like, and that gives rise to five factions who are trying to overthrow the government. And a 16-year-old detective named Miko, who you can see right there,
Yeah.
is just enduring in Tokyo. And then in the first volume, she gets a case that's going to change everything. And as she said, we are 9 issues in. Issue 9 is the start of volume 3, which I'm very excited about. And it's about a new serial killer that comes to Tokyo. If you scroll down a little bit more, you can see the
Yeah.
first few pages. Here
There,
we go.
yeah,
No,
there
keep
it
going.
is.
Keep going. Keep going. Sorry, I'm there. There we go. There's the cover,
Yeah.
and then
Born
scroll.
from Pain.
Yeah,
Love
that's actually a reference to AEW.
it.
And then
That's pretty cool.
that's our first page. That's easily like one of the coolest first pages we've ever done.
Oh
Like
yeah, that's pretty dope.
that's very dope. But yeah, so there's a serial killer, and he's, as you can see, he's using an old school blade to kill people, and that's freaking people out because when you're used to a certain kind of weaponry, or
Hmm.
like in this case, laser swords, like you get used to it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, someone's going like very violent on people. It's just like, that's not right. So, like, this is tripping people up.
Yeah.
And so, our main characters, Miko and Michio, are contracted to go and find this killer, figure out what's going on, and then put a stop to them. And it's going to be a very, very fun issue.
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So I cannot wait to dig in.
Yeah.
You can see some of the interior work right here. You want to walk us through what's going on here in this
Yeah,
page?
so on the right is our main character Miko, and on the left is her partner in crime fighting, I suppose, Michio. They have a very unique dynamic. One might call it father-daughter, even though they're not related.
Hmm.
And she is the epitome of angsty teen. Uh, like like in this one right here, the first panel reads, "I can't stand how old-fashioned you are." They're playing Hanafuda, and he's like, "Miko, this is a way for you to relax," and she goes, "There's no amount of cards that'll ever let me relax." Like uber teen angst for Miko. So
Love it.
yeah,
Love it.
yeah, and
Very
then
cool.
we get an interesting guest at the door, and Michio's not happy about it.
Yeah, yeah. So let's not give anything away, man. That's awesome, though.
Yeah.
The
So, but
swords
yeah,
are pretty cool too.
thank you. The laser swords were obviously the thing that helped seal this for me because when I came up with the idea for, okay, I gotta tell the story because
Yeah.
it's one thing I love to tell people is comic inspiration can come from anywhere and everywhere. All right. You can just think of an idea. You could say, what's my take on this story? Was happened to me many times. For Tokyo Blade Detectives, I had the dumbest origin story ever. Now, I love anime. I love Japan. It's probably my favorite country, if I'm being blunt.
Yeah.
Even in spite of how weird they can be, like if you know, you know. But I was on a, but that wasn't what started this. I had never really thought, oh, I want to do an anime style comic. I was on Facebook, and you know, like those meme pictures where it's like, first letter of your first name, first letter of your last name, figure out what your thing is. One of them was what's your anime series title? So I'm like, that sounds fun. So first letter of my first name, T. First letter of my last name, B. Last letter of my first name, D. Tokyo Blade
Ah,
Detectives. So I
love
was
it.
like, at this time, Deadpool had come out, the first Deadpool, and one of the lines in there is Deadpool sounds like a franchise. So that's what I put because it felt right. And so I went into the comment section. I said, uh, Tokyo Blade Detective sounds like a franchise. Hit enter, and I left. I was done. That was it. There was nothing there. There was nothing else going on. A few hours later, I get a message from Facebook saying, like, hey, someone replied to your comment, and I didn't recognize the name. So I clicked on it, and it was that Facebook meme post that I had forgotten about. And he goes, that does sound like a franchise. You should do something about that. And I'm
Nice.
like, okay. So I looked at the name. I'm like, okay, it's Tokyo, Japan, obviously. Detectives, modern day, solving crimes and such. But Blade was throwing me off because why would they have swords in the modern day? And then that's when the line came out In a land where guns are outlawed, only the blade can rule.
Yeah, I
And I'm
love.
like, dope. And that's when the floodgates of my mind opened and all the ideas came in. I literally rushed to Microsoft Word to type out all the things that I was thinking about. And I was like, okay, so that's how that's gonna go. And this was another situation where I had to wait a bit to make it because I had to find the right artist, which turned out to be Lam Vivant, who did all the interiors. And just I had other projects I needed to get done, like home and 10,000 miles. But once we got started on it, the reception has been great, and now we're on volume 3. So I'm
Amazing.
just I'm hoping to take this as far as possible.
Well, congratulations. That's not easy to do.
Thank
Let,
you.
let's talk about the team a little bit.
Right?
Obviously, we
Yeah.
know you now, Todd. You want to talk
Yes.
about your team that's also working with
Yeah.
you?
Yeah. So long.
Amazon.
Yeah, Lon Vivon, I met him on Facebook from one of the groups I like to frequent to find new artists.
Mhm.
He's been great. I always say, hey, I need you to draw us an anime style. He goes, okay. He does it, and then he like crushes it. I I wish I had sent you more pages so you could like show it to them, but he does really great anime style art. He's great with the blades and like actually have like feel like they're moving as they're attacking. We just got done with a page that is our reference to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Hmm.
It's the Dio panel where he's walking to JoJo and like the
Yeah.
stunted like and we just got done with that in colored form and it's beautiful and I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes, Lom, that's it. That's how it looks. But yeah, he crushes it and I'm very grateful to him. He does very good work and he's done a lot of concept art for some other projects I have or will be doing soon enough. Matt Shore is a fellow creator. He makes his own books, but he's also an editor of mine. He also has done many of the videos I do for Kickstarter. He just likes doing video editing. I can't judge him for that. But
Yeah.
he likes to do a lot of horror. He's like it says right there. He had a Moby Dick series about a zombie version of Moby Dick. I'm like dope.
That
Uh,
sounds awesome.
he's great. Definitely check it out.
The
Then
Zombiesaurus Rex too. That sounds
yeah,
like fun.
he loves certain kinds of things. That's definitely for sure. Then Alex was the artist actually I was talking about earlier. He's been my ride or die artist wise. He's my go-to artist for almost every project. He did Guardians. He did 10,000 Miles. He did our we did a heist graphic novel, Take the House. He did that. And he does all the covers for Tokyo,
Wow.
and he's our letterer too. He did lettering because I volunteered and it looked horrible. He goes, Todd, I'll do it for you. I'm like, okay,
That
I
was a nice
tried.
way to say it, Todd. I got that for you. I
I
got
did. I tried. I was just like, I could do this. It's like, box, letters,
yeah.
like, come on. And Alex is like, I can do this topic.
It's an
So
art all in itself. It's
yeah,
crazy. It's
it is.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I've got a great team. This has basically been the team since pretty much the beginning. Outside of editors, I've had a few editors over the course of the series.
Yeah.
But and then here with that picture right there is some of the books I've made, Guardians, Home to 1,000 Miles, and yes, I've even wrote a Sherlock Holmes novel series.
That is
So
awesome. So Guardians outside of Tokyo, Guardians, you said is how many issues did you do?
20 issues.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah, it was. The only reason I stopped, it's not over, but it's on hiatus, like a
Yeah.
very, very long hiatus, because I wanted to stop so I could go make home in 10,000 miles because I knew I couldn't do it all at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'll
It's
get back to it. And Guardian still sells, like even with some of its even Alex will say it's like not his best art because we were we were very, very young at that point in time.
still
Uh
cool though. That's amazing.
yeah, but yeah, it was Guardians was 20 issues. Home was a 5 issue miniseries. 10,000 Miles was a graphic, one shot graphic novel, and then I've got 6 Sherlock Holmes books out, and that's still not all the stuff I've made. So
Do you have six? Those are all novels or comics. That is Sherlock
novels, like
Holmes.
pure novels.
Wow, six of them you've done of Sherlock Holmes?
Yep,
That's impressive, Todd.
thank you.
Wow. So here's all the different ways that you can consume Tokyo Blade Detective. So you obviously have a digital version,
Right.
physical version, which is
Yep.
pretty cool. Thank you name, which I always love. I think anybody who
Yep.
I know people that when they back, they look for this just because they want to
Really?
get their name in so many books. Yeah, which
Yeah.
is hey to
Uh,
each their own, but that's a pretty cool idea.
I started this with Home, and it was just something that it's just my way of showing appreciation.
Yeah.
And sure, I may get a few more bucks out of it, but it's my way of just showing like, you helped make this happen. This book isn't here without you. So this is my way of literally showing like, you are part of the creative process.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this next tier is very important. These next two tiers are very important because for many of you, I'm sure you've never even heard of Tokyo Blade Detectives, or me. I forgive the second one. Uh, or is it, or is I forget the first one? I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you need to catch up on the series, which I understand, we have multiple tiers to help you get it. If you want all the issues digitally, we have a $30 tier for that. Or if you want them physically mailed to you, we have an $80 tier for that. And so don't feel bad. I was like, oh, this looks cool, but I've never read a single one of them. Now you can.
Now you can.
Now
Everything's
you can.
available. And it looks like you have your entire portfolio available too, right?
Pretty much. Like
That's awesome.
only in PDF form, just
Yeah,
for logistical reasons.
for sure. Yeah,
But
that
if you
makes
want all my PDFs, like every comic I've ever made, which is uh, close to 50, that's 125, and then I'll throw in all 7 novels that I have for an extra 25. So if you just really love to read,
yeah,
those are the tiers for you.
that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's great that you have it all available.
I tried to, just because even if you don't like Tokyo per se, you might like
Yeah,
one of my other books. You're like, okay, I'll try out Tokyo, but like this is the one I want. So that's why
yeah,
we offer both rewards and add-ons. Every book I've ever made is available via either rewards or add-ons.
yeah.
So
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
because not every genre is right for every person. So
Right.
I think, and since you've written so much and you have all
Yeah.
these different genres, why not make it all available, right?
Yeah. Oh, also scroll back up a little bit,
Oh
please.
yeah, please.
Nope,
Yep.
right there.
Oh, there you
I want
go.
to give a shout out to Alex.
Yes.
If you want a custom image about from Tokyo, featuring the characters or whatever. Alex does really great work, and so I offer that tier for you. Like that's some of the pages he's done. He's done epic colors. He's done black and white. The dragon page in the third slot. That's
That
like one of
looks
my
awesome.
favorite. That's one of my favorite pages ever. And that was
Looks amazing.
from that's from issue 6. No, no, that's from issue 3. Right, that's from issue 3 of Guardians. That was our fourth issue together because we did a zero issue. And it was like, I need an epic dragon page, and he goes, bet. So
Consider it done.
done.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks. But
So that's
oh
great, man. You could get art.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
And
what's
then
this getting killed?
okay. So as I noted, I don't mind putting people in my comics, but ever since Home, I have offered a cameo tier for people to get it. It's been wildly popular. The twist with this one is that because of the nature of the story, there aren't a lot of like crowd shots or random people it's a very what's the word?
Like
Um,
focus maybe
yeah,
on the main
focused.
character,
It's
right? Yeah.
very focused story in terms of like what we see.
Hmm.
So, but the one thing there are plenty of are victims. People be dying. You saw some of them in the first page.
I
So
love it.
if you pledge here to this tier, you will get to be one of the victims of Tokyo's latest serial killer. And apparently, this is something that people have done in other campaigns. I personally never really saw the appeal, but it's just like, hey, if you want to die in a comic book,
Here you go.
sure.
Here you go.
Well, why not? So
I love it, man. This is awesome.
yeah, we only have a few slots left. So again, people be dying. But if you're into that, there's your tier.
I love it, man. I
Thank
love
you.
it.
So
Very
and
cool,
yeah,
man.
and then here's the add-ons for like basically every single series I've ever made is available via add-on, so you can get Tokyo and the other genre that you desire should you want. So like there's my superhero series.
I love that cover too, by the way.
Thank you. I literally have a poster of that right in front of me right now.
Yeah, and that's such a cool picture.
Yeah. Again,
Just
that's
coming
why
right at
I have Alex on covers because that's what
you.
he does.
Yeah.
That's my the volume version of Home. That's the entire story right there. We offer that everything is offered also digitally and physically.
Okay.
So then we got 10,000 Miles. I call that my Disney Pixar story because
Yeah,
it's got a very watercolor aesthetic to it on the interiors.
I like that. That's
Thank you.
cool.
Okay, this is my latest comic outside of Tokyo, which is Take the House. It's a heist graphic novel. It's my tribute to like Ocean's 13 and 11. We don't talk about the even numbered Ocean's films. Uh, you know. But
Yeah.
and every single person that is in on that cover is someone I know.
Oh, how cool.
Yeah. So on the left side, left column, the second dude, that's my buddy Gil. That's the one who was like, I'm not gonna pledge to Tokyo, but I'll pledge to this one because I'm it. Love you, Gil.
Thanks,
So yeah.
Gil.
Yeah. And we actually had some people pledge to be on one of the heist crews. So
Oh, how cool.
that was a cool thing. Yeah.
That's
Uh
awesome. When did this
yeah.
come out, Todd?
Last year.
Oh, okay. So it's fairly recent then.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
this is the last comic I made before I went back into doing Tokyo. So, and
That's awesome.
this one was a multi-year project, but we got it done, and I think it came out really cool.
Yeah, the cover
So,
looks amazing.
thank you.
The facial, I mean, the art is like
Yep,
very realistic.
yep, that's Alex for you. Here's another one of Alex's comics that we did. Five Bullets, Six Men. It's a noir style black and white comic. This is actually my first published comic. It was for
Hmm.
Source Point Press,
Oh, yeah, I
and
know Source Point. Yeah.
they're great people. But yeah,
Yeah,
this is old school mystery noir, like Maltese Falcon, Dick Tracy kind of stuff, and one shot piece. But it was really really fun to do, and it did well. So I was really happy about that.
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Let's see, and then oh, this one's special. This is Seekers of Science. This is an education comic. And
Okay.
those two ladies are Dr. Tracy Fanara and Tamara Robertson. They're dear friends of mine, and in each issue, or in this case, volume, we solve real world problems with real world science.
That's pretty cool. And how many issues of this do you have?
Technically we have
Or how
six
many issues
issues.
have you solved with science? How about that?
There's always more issues to solve with science. There's five issues that people can get.
Okay.
This one that I'm offering on the Kickstarter is the first volume, so that's the first four issues,
Okay.
and we're working on volume two right now. The book has not just like really good science stories, but we also have Q&As with actual professionals in the field. We have DIY experiments, and it's just a great. We're trying to use this to really inspire the next generation, saying like science is cool, science is helpful, and we need science.
Yeah,
We need
exactly.
we need it. We really do. Stop saying otherwise.
Yeah, no, I agree. No, that's awesome, man. I
Thank
love
you.
it. That's such a good idea too.
Thank you. But there's my Sherlock Holmes series. That's prose novel, and that it's my take on the characters, modern times, all new mysteries.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool. And you said there's five in the series so far? Six. Wow,
six.
that's
Yeah,
crazy.
thank you. And then that one is my latest novel. I actually have it right here.
Oh, okay.
As we wander the stars. Nice thick book. This is my
Wow.
tribute to things like Star Trek, Babylon 5, that kind of thing. It's about a new crew, a new ship, and a whole new universe to explore.
That's
Every
so cool.
Thank you. Every book has four adventures in it, and book two is currently in the editing process, and I'm working on book three. So this one's been a passion project ever since I got the idea. I'm just like, I could write this kind of a story. I know I can.
Well, obviously you can if you have that many that much going on with it. That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're a writing machine, Todd.
doing my best.
There you go, man.
Yeah, yeah,
That's awesome. So, well, congratulations on everything. So, Black Magic Wolf Productions, that's your name for your production, your comic like publisher
yeah.
label.
That's my brand.
Perfect. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks.
I love that
Yeah.
name too.
Thank you. It happened because my nickname is Black Magic from my high school days because my last name is Black,
Okay.
and I got it during a card game where I okay, story time. So when I was at high school at church, my friends and I sometimes wouldn't actually like go to the sermons and such. We would just hang out in this rec area we had at our church, and we would play cards, and so we were playing a game called King's Corners, and I was gonna lose. Like I was totally going to lose. There was no way I was gonna win. And I pulled off a win, and my best friend Ro was furious at me. And at this point in time, I'll add this to the arrogance part of my life. I was under the delusion that I needed a catchphrase. And so my catchphrase was, I'm magic. And so I win the game. He goes, how the heck did you win? And I go, I'm magic. And he goes, yeah, black magic. I'm like, I
That's it.
love it. And it's stuck, and I've used it ever since. But when I wanted to make my company name that, I found out there's actually Black Magic Productions in Las Vegas. They're a sound company.
Oh, okay.
So just like, oh, I can't use that. So I'm like, what's my favorite animal? The wolf. So Black Magic Wolf.
I think
Yeah,
that's a very slick way to get around that, Todd.
I like it. I like it.
I like it. Yeah,
I
yeah.
like it.
Well, that's incredible, man. Congratulations. I'll definitely back. And we'll share the heck out of this. We got 15 days left, so there's plenty
Yes.
of time for people to jump in.
Yeah.
Again, anybody that's watching this, just so you know, the goal is 750. I could tell you right now, it costs a lot more than that to put a comic book together. So anything we could do to help him push way past that, that's just going to ensure that we get issue number 10 and all the other great things that you are doing, Todd. But congratulations, man. It's Kickstarters are not easy, and you're kind
No,
of, if it was 30-day, which I'm assuming it was, you're kind of in at the pit of the valley right now, which is normal
yeah.
for Kickstarter until
I'm
we get that
doing
last week, right?
Yeah, I'm doing 28 days. I just like this will actually be like my shortest Kickstarter ever because I usually do a full month, but February is a short month, so I'm just
There you go.
kind of testing the waters. But yes, I am in the valley, and not to guilt trip anyone, but I have not had a backer all day, so
Ah,
now is the time to back to make me feel better and
there you
to
go.
and if for those of a certain persuasion, the next backer is backer 69.
Nice. There you go. That's worth it right there.
There, I'm just saying, like that's it's an honor. Apparently, I'm told. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but yeah, but to anyone who is interested, I really do love Tokyo Blade Detectives. It means a lot to me. It's one of my favorite franchises. I don't like saying it
Yeah.
because it's like I love all my creations equally, but like Tokyo means a lot to me. I get to have a lot of fun with it. And the fact that I've made 9 issues because of support from great readers like yourselves means a lot. So I want to keep it going. I have a lot of ideas. I want to keep going with this. And even on the Kickstarter, we didn't get to talk about it, but I love this idea so much. I actually made an anime style intro for it.
Nice, man.
Yeah,
Let's see if we can play it. Again, sometimes it doesn't come out real well, but let's try it.
if you want.
Why, yeah, why not, right?
You want? Okay.
We're together. Let's see if we can watch it. I'm sure it's not that
Let's
long.
get together. It's about 90 seconds.
There we go. All right, let's
So,
do it. Let me know if you can hear it, Todd.
okay.
Tokyo rap.
Cutting in and out, but I'm sure your fans can hear it.
That is pretty dope, man.
Yeah, that was a year-long project. Shout out to everyone who helped make that happen. Studio Leaf and my buddy Omega Sparks who did the rap. For those who couldn't hear it because it's kind of getting out, just listen. The video's on there twice over, so
Well, the
just
sound didn't come out real good, Todd.
it's fine. Uh,
Okay.
but
Sorry, I tried. I tried.
it's okay. It's always cool to see the animation. But yeah, like that's how passionate I am about this one is that I had a freaking animation made for it just to further highlight the beauty of this thing. So
Yeah. Well, it
yeah,
was dope, man. The animation
thank
was
you.
amazing.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
but again, we have catch-up tiers. We have a whole bunch of books that you can get physically and digitally. And you know, if you want to die in a comic book, there's that option too. So,
Well, Todd, how can people follow you on social media? Where are you at? And let's talk a little bit about cons real quick.
sure.
How people can maybe meet you in person and maybe get things signed and
Yeah.
pick up
So,
all the other great stuff you have.
Yeah, okay. So on social media, you can find me at Twitter at Guardians_comic.
Okay.
That's I've kept that handle even though I've long since passed on since Guardians. Same with Instagram, which I'm trying to do better at. For Blue Sky, which is where I met you,
Yep.
you can find me at Todd Black. Hold on, I should have it right up. Uh, yeah, Todd Black one dot bluesky dot social, so you can find me there. She's surprised I was able to get that one. I'm also on Global Comics. You can find me under Black Magic Wolf Productions there. Uh, and then for cons, I'm actually doing my first con this weekend. It's Saluki Con in Carbondale, Illinois,
Mhm.
Saturday and Sunday. Then in March, I have multiple cons. I have a Planet Comic Con, which is one of the biggest ones in the Midwest in Kansas City. Huge event, massive celebrity turnout. Like they have like a massive Doctor Who
Oh,
get together. That alone's worth it.
yeah.
But they've got like Mike Coulter from Luke Cage. They got Andy Serkis is there. So definitely go check that out. I will be there in RS Alley. Peoria Con, Peoria, Illinois. I'll be there on it's 28th and 29th, the final weekend in March. Those are like the more recent, that's the more like coming up soon ones. And I'll be posting about it on my various socials and my newsletter, which you can all sign up for. You'll find the link on my social pages. So trying to do a lot of cons this year, so we'll see how it all goes.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have a Substack too, Todd?
I do not. I am told I need to get one though. I have
I'm
just like a
surprised you
standard.
don't because you've written so much. I mean, there's a lot of comic writers and artists that are on there,
Yeah,
but a lot of the writers also have their own Substack. Some kind of go into the political side, some go into other things that they're interested in, but they also, talk about what is going on in their lives, what comics they're working on. So something to think about because
yeah,
you've written so much. You have a lot of content you could
yeah.
easily put on
Well,
there.
I have a newsletter via Mailchimp, and that's where I do that kind of
Okay,
thing,
perfect.
like promote and show off what I'm doing next. But yeah, Substack I'll probably get into this later this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
But
That's awesome. Well, I'll
yeah.
make sure below, right? We're gonna have the link down there, all your socials. We're gonna make it super easy, and we're gonna blast this all over social media. Anybody watching this, get over to Kickstarter right now. Back Tokyo Blade Detectives, and if you're new to it, you could get all 9 issues, no issue at all. So, and on average, a comic book is $10. You're kind of getting one free if you get the $80 one through nine, right?
Yep. And then for the digital one, we offer a single PDF issue for $5. So you're getting for like the whole series for 33% off if you go digitally. So
There you
try
go.
trying to make it fair for everybody.
I love it. I love it. Well, Todd, I absolutely had a blast. I hope this isn't our last time.
Yep.
And I don't think it will with how much you write. I think we could probably do a show like every month. But I had a blast, man. We'll be much more close and more in contact moving forward. I'll follow you everywhere. I met you on Blue Sky, so I'm glad we connected there. But man, congratulations on one hitting your goal. Let's help you get to a couple thousand. I think that would be amazing if you could get to that.
I'll
And
settle for 100 backers. That's what I usually always go for is 100
100
backers.
backers
So
would be amazing. That would
so
be.
yeah.
You're at 68 now, so that's awesome.
Mhm.
I think you're doing pretty well. But yeah, congratulations, Todd. It was a pleasure meeting you today. And everybody, get over there. Everything's right below. Make it really easy for you. But Todd, thank you, man. It was a pleasure meeting you today, and I had a blast talking with you.
Pleasure was mine, Tommy. Thank you.
You bet. Talk soon.
Later.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.